Big Z Reviews. The Little Things is a new movie that is one of the movies that is streaming on HBO Max, along with being released in theaters that are open. And it just is pretty bad, honestly. I really didn't like it.
Things probably changed a lot since you left.
You still got to catch him, right?
Yeah.
Not that much has changed then, right?
I can assure you all, we are taking a 24/7 all-hands-on-deck approach to these cases.
So this mainly stars Denzel Washington, along with Rami Malek and Jared Leto. And this is written and directed by John Lee Hancock. And apparently this is something that he wrote in the 90s. And then now, in the 2021, it's a period piece. It's in the 90s. And finally, he couldn't get anyone else to direct it. So he directed it himself. And I can see why he has such a difficult time getting anyone to make it, because the writing is really bad. Like, it is a very boring movie, very slow and relatively long for what's in it. And it is incredibly unsatisfying. Basic setup is that Denzel Washington, for some reason, has to go back to the LA District Police Station where he left for reasons we'll talk about later, and he has to get these boots. And then while he's there, there is this serial murder case that is reminiscent to one of his old cases. So then he kind of gets involved with Rami Malek, who is kind of the person that took over his detective spot, and they have to find the killer, who might be Jared Leto. But you don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Will we see? Not. Maybe not. All the actors are fine. I just found them to be a little overacting. Especially Denzel Washington and Jared Leto. Denzel Washington's always going to be amazing, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little on the nose. They're a little annoying, his character, and Jared Leto is just, I don't know, a shitbag, but like he's playing what his soul, I think, looks like. And it's just, to talk about what I really didn't like about it, I kind of have to spoil it. But just to say, before I get to that point, I'll say that the mystery is not good. Like, it's funny, I'm in the middle of watching Hannibal on Netflix, and any single episode of Hannibal is better than The Little Things. And it's just that there's no mystery involved, really, and there's no case. There's an interesting case here, like, reading between the lines, I have an idea of there could have been a good movie somewhere in here, but they don't do it for some reason, and instead you get a really annoying ending that it just pissed the hell out of me, because it was so pointless. But to talk about what I hated about it, I do have to spoil things, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you can stop the review now. I'd probably give it 6 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10. It's not a good movie. But if you have HBO Max, there's worse ways to spend your night than watching this. So at a certain point, there's this murder is, parts of it are similar to Denzel Washington's old case. But other parts of it are not similar. And I feel like they're setting this something up where, maybe because Jared Leto, full spoiler, but towards the end, he takes Rami Malek to where he says this one girl's buried, and he has him dig all these holes, oh no, I think it's actually over there. And he gets so frustrated, he hits him in the head with a shovel and kills Jared Leto. And it's like, oh. Well, if he was a killer, well, we never know. If he wasn't the killer, well, the killer's still out there somewhere. So you really screwed this up. And it's like, yeah, he was annoying, but, I mean, come on. And it's not thrilling at all. It's just annoying. And I think that it feels like, because Jared Leto, his concept of the character is that he was a repair person that definitely went to this room where this girl was murdered. But the thing is, they put a bag over her head and looked like someone was watching from the apartment across the street and probably jacking it all day to it. And it felt like, but Jared Leto very clearly says, "I've never killed anyone." And I feel like perhaps there was a different serial killer, and Jared Leto found the body, and then just got aroused by it and jacked to it across the street. Like he positioned it by the door where he could watch it and put the bag on the head. Which made me think that he could have possibly, maybe he did kill someone, but he killed back in the day in Denzel Washington's case. But there's like, we don't know. And it's so funny, at the end of the movie, the FBI comes in, and they're like, okay, now we have to do this, and we're like, wait, like, can I see that movie instead? With a competent investigator? Maybe find out who the serial killer actually is? You know? But it's just, and it's like, there's also the Denzel Washington thing, like he's haunted by this old case. He keeps having flashbacks. And it's revealed at the very end that he murdered one of the girls that escaped from the serial killer. And it was shot her in the chest. And everyone else hid that he murdered her. But then he still had to leave the force and go to this little town. Like, if they hid that he was a murderer, why did he have to leave? Because they felt like it. You know? It's so generic, but also so uninspired. And it's not thrilling. It's not an interesting investigation. It's not an interesting mystery. And even if there was a mystery, they don't solve it. It's like an anti-mystery movie. And I think that the director, John Lee Hancock, thought, oh, I'm going to do a mystery movie where the mystery isn't solved. Oh. And it's like, go wank somewhere else. And it's just bad. And really unsatisfying. And slow and boring. And it's just not good. I would not recommend it. Like, it's definitely a January movie. Like, if it wasn't the whole HBO Max thing, there's a reason they would have let it out in January, you know, but they knew it wasn't very good. But yeah, that's my review. Like I said, I'd probably give like a 5.5 out of 10. But thanks for watching, and you can subscribe to me if you would like to see more of my content, and I'll see you next time, maybe.